Fredrik coming at you with another episode of Hey Bror Fredrik. On today's episode, driving up and down the Las Vegas Strip, we're going to discuss the topic, is Las Vegas cracking down on vloggers or plans to crack down on vloggers? This is a very interesting topic. If you follow vloggers or if you are a vlogger, this might be of interest to you. I'm going to share my personal experiences that I've had, some stories that I've had, and some recent information that's come to me last night that actually sparked this topic. And we're going to get into it right after this. For those of you new to the channel, again, my name's Bror Fredrik, local Las Vegas-based photographer, videographer, cinematographer, and part-time philosopher, and Las Vegas vlogger. At the end of the video, I'm going to drop the 9% word of the day up in the upper left-hand corner. If you drop that in the comments, it'll let YouTube know, and it'll let me know that you stuck around to the very end of the video. That helps the video, that helps the channel grow, and that helps the Bror Nation. So, is Las Vegas cracking down or planning on cracking down on vloggers? So let me just give a little history on cameras and vlogging in and around casinos. That way we're on the same page here. Now, everyone has a misconception that Las Vegas and the properties, that it's public. So why aren't you allowed to film on public areas? They are technically not public whatsoever. A lot of these properties control and own everything right up to the curb, including the sidewalks. So any filming, any picture taking, whatever is actually on their property, and they are not public properties. A library might be a public property and various other locations, but a casino is not. It's a private property. You are there as a guest. So once you are in their property or on their property, you are subject to whatever rules they decide to make or enforce. Now, a lot of the rules that have been in effect in Las Vegas regarding filming and picture taking happen to be very old, and they predate the era of 4K cell phones and all the stuff that we're familiar with now. Live streams, vlogging, FaceTiming, Zoom calls, Skype, all that stuff. It predates that. So when all that took place, now this is available. This is almost in everyone's grasp. The ability to film, the ability to stream, that has become ubiquitous now. So what does the casino do? Now, basically, if you're a tourist coming to town and you whip out your camera and you take a little video of the buffalo machine or of, the people you're with or the meal that you're eating, nobody will generally bother you about it. Now, if you start putting that same camera on a stabilizer, you add a microphone to it, now you're crossing the bridge into an area that they might not be happy with. In most cases, the rules are don't film the cage. I don't know if the etiquette, let me call it etiquette. The etiquette is don't film the cages, don't film the table games, don't film players. That's their priority. And actually, in Nevada, there is a law that they can enforce. They say, oh, well, it's not against the law. Now, something that Las Vegas can do to people who are filming and vlogging and taking videos inside a casino and around a casino, it's a law called casing. If they feel, they'd have to prove it in court, of course, but if they feel that you are taking video or your video could be used, all right, sucker trucks, let me get out of your way. Oh, they're going there? Come on. If they feel your video could be used to case the establishment, i.e., figuring out where security is, figuring out where the cameras is, figuring out when the money changes hands and all that type of stuff, yes, they could come after you for that. That's particularly why they're not fans of live streaming. They feel that could be live casing to see, where the security is at the present time and all that other type of stuff. So yes, there are laws in place that can prevent you and get you in a lot of trouble if you're filming on properties. Whether they enforce them, whether they decide to use them, that's up to the casino's prerogative. But the casinos, the properties themselves, tend to have a bigger problem with live streaming than with actual filming. So bear that in mind too. So live streaming comes into another category because that could be used for cheating purposes. Not so much on the machines, but that's why they say the tables in specific. Poker tables, blackjack tables, things like that. Because live streaming with the capabilities of cameras now, you know that my camera, my setup, my rig that I use for my streaming can be zoomed in quite far. So that's why they have an issue with that. So I respect the properties in terms of that. I know the etiquette of it. I wouldn't even call it the rules because it's by their grace we're even allowed in and out of these properties. So if you're not respecting the properties to begin with, you're causing more harm than good to a certain degree. Now, back to the subject at hand. Is Las Vegas cracking down or going to crack down on vloggers? This, again, interesting topic. I had an experience yesterday at the Rio. I was at the parking garage, on the top floor of the parking garage, and my purpose of being there was to show people the amazing view, because in my opinion, that parking garage has one of the most amazing views of the entire strip, especially at night. And if there's any fireworks in town, when those return after the shutdowns and all this other nonsense is over, when that returns, it is the most amazing place to see fireworks. It's just absolutely spectacular. So my purpose there was to show people that location, to highlight the property. And I also wanted to highlight, which I did live, I walked from the Rio to the Strip to show everyone what it's like to walk, how long it takes to walk, which side you should walk on, and the proper way to walk, and what time to walk up and down the area from the Rio to the Strip. Again, my purpose was to showcase that the Rio is a property you don't have to avoid. It's not that far off the Strip. I wanted to dispel some rumors about the property. I was there to help them. So I started my vlog in the walkway bridge going over to the parking lot. I'm gonna let this guy go. Where I was confronted by security. I was told I could not film on their property, and I was doing a live. I was there to showcase their property and to dispel myths and to put asses in their seats. I was approached by security and I was told that I couldn't do it. I was asked for ID. I was asked where my vehicle was. I was asked for my date of birth. I was asked for everything. I thought they were going to 86 me from the property, but now I'm in their database of people who film on the property and all this other nonsense. Meanwhile, I was there to do them a service because, again, I do have a love-hate relationship with the Rio, but I was there to help them put asses in their seats. But I was asked to leave. I wasn't 86. I was asked to stop. I was asked to leave. I was moving on. I went back later after I did the walk, and I continued to show over 5,000 people via this live stream that staying at the Rio, which is cheap, it's still nice, whatever. I'm going to do a separate video about my opinions of them, especially after this experience. But I showed the walk. So I wanted people to be familiar with the walk, the time it took, all the rest of that, and that the Rio was an option. So I was asked to leave. I did the video anyway. I've since taken down that video. Now, afterwards, several people, 3 people, sent me emails saying that one worked for Caesars Entertainment and 2 worked for MGM Properties. And they proceeded to tell me basically the same story, that there's been discussions in the higher ups in these properties about keeping vloggers off or away from the properties themselves to protect their shareholders. And it was funny how all 3, now I can neither confirm nor deny these emails, but on one level it makes sense that, they're in a time right now where perhaps they don't want to show, the conditions, how few people are here and things like that to protect their shareholders. But number one, it's not their fault what's going on. If the town is not booming like it was pre-shutdown, it's not their fault. They cannot be held accountable for that. Number two, as a whole, I would say the vlogging community here in Vegas, I don't know any of them whatsoever personally, but I have viewed at least one of each one of their streams just to get a feel for them. And I would say for the most part, they are like me. They are here to shine a positive light on Las Vegas. And my vibe is completely showing the town positive. I'm not candy coating anything. I'm not bullshitting anyone. I'm telling it like it is. I'm showing it when it's busy. I'm showing it when it's not. But my goal is to show people that Las Vegas is still a viable vacation option and you can still have fun. One of my most famous things I do during my video is I dispel the myth of the 25% occupancy. Like 25% occupancy in the Aria is over 6,000 people. They would be happy with 6,000 people. So it's not the 25%. Yes, it poses a problem with restaurants, but not in the properties themselves. So I'm a great proponent of getting the pragmatic information out there. I don't clickbait to do negative things to show the town and will Vegas die by the end of the year? I don't do that bullshit. And anyone who's watched my channel knows I don't do that bullshit. I am an ambassador for this town. I love this town. And for the most part, like I said, I feel the other vloggers are doing the same. Maybe not, as grandiose as, others do, but there's very few that are actually doing the whole clickbaity, is Vegas dead tomorrow type nonsense. Now, yeah, if I was a casino owner, I wouldn't want that person on my property. But if it was someone like me, whose goal is to see this town come back to life, who's been to every single opening and showed them all in a positive light, except for one, again, a Caesars property, unfortunately, they should embrace me. They should embrace other vloggers. And I know for a fact that the suits and the muckety-mucks of these properties watch us. I know for a fact that they watch me. I know for a fact that Vegas vloggers as a whole and video makers get more views in a day than the local news when they post. So we're doing a service. If they should reach out and make accommodations for us. That would be the most wise thing for these properties to do, instead of figuring out ways to thwart us from presenting the town to the world, because my viewership only being, at this time of this recording, about 9,000 subscribers, my reach is wide, my influence is wide, and I've only been doing this a few months. There's some other vloggers who have 5, 6, 7 times, 10 times that amount of subscribers. So our cumulative influence is large and it's wide reaching. If I say, go to this place or don't go to this place, or this food was great or this food sucks, and the other vloggers do too, that has influence, because people will listen to us. They trust our opinions, and that's what we're here to do. So cracking down, according to these emails that I received, and if you are listening, property managers, cracking down would not be advantageous. Yes, you can. You're well within your rights to do it, but it would not be advantageous. We're here to help promote you. We're here to help restore things back to normal. We require and request your assistance in doing so. So I'm making a formal request to property managers and properties in general to work with us, to let us know what's okay, what's not, to set aside specific areas and times where we can present your properties in the most positive light possible. Because we're basically, when I go to a property, when I walk past a property, for all intents and purposes, I'm doing a commercial for you. So let's work together on this. That would be best for all parties. And as far as my other personal experiences, again, I have not really, I've been welcomed in, I would say 95% of the properties have been exceedingly pleasant to me. They welcome me in, they say, hey, Bror Fredrik, hey, Bror Fredrik, you know the rules, AKA the rules. No cage, protect the privacy of the players, and don't show the table games. And I'm like, yep, you got it. So some properties actually wave me in. They're like, come on in. And other ones, I know I'm going to have an issue. And I'm not all about that fluky dooky sneaky stuff, camera in the pocket, all that other nonsense. I don't do that. I'm there. I don't want to have run-ins with security, and security varies too. One guy might, wave me in, and the other guy might be like, get the F out of here. That's just the nature of it. People are people. Because the overall rule is no filming in the casinos, and that goes back to the freaking 60s. So if they decide to enforce it, they decide to enforce it, and it's not for me or anyone else to get mad about it. But the rules have to come up with the times. Just like now, there was a recent ruling about filming in national parks. The rules predated, cell phone cameras that did 8K. And there was a recent ruling considering the fees that were involved in doing that unconstitutional. So they kind of got up to the times, and the town needs to get up to the times too. Yes, it's more sophisticated now, the equipment that we have, so sure, they should make provisions, but they should also make accommodations, because we have a huge impact. I mean, how many people play and love the Buffalo Machine because it's my favorite and I constantly talk about it? So, and I constantly tell people the best places to play the Buffalo. When I did the Mistress of Egypt machine, I bet there's a line to get to that machine now. I brag and talk about Mirage all the time. I know for a fact probably hundreds of people booked and played at the Mirage because they are just that good to me. So I constantly tell people, if you want to get treated the way I was treated, like gold, go to the Mirage, go to the Win. They treat me so righteous at the Win. So if a property treats me like ass, and I decide to tell everyone they treated me like ass, so what's that going to do? It's going to have the exact opposite effect. So we should work together. But I will also say, it's their properties, it's their rules, and we have to abide by the rules. We have to show them the respect, and we should have a cooperation between Las Vegas vloggers and the various properties. And I believe they will. I don't believe there's going to be, to wrap it up, I don't believe there's going to be some ginormous crackdown. If anything, I've found the past couple of weeks the property's a little more welcoming to people coming inside and doing their thing. If that changes, I will let everyone know. If there is validity to these emails I was sent, bear in mind, they might be complete trolls, but they were sent to me. I cannot verify what these emails said, that they work for the company and they plan on cracking down. I don't know if that's actually the case. That remains to be seen. But I'll tell you this much. If it is the case, I'll be the first one to tell you, and I'm sure I'll be notified because, like I said, I know for a fact that a lot of the muckety mucks and property managers in town do watch my channel. I can't speak for everyone's channel, but I know it for a fact, an absolute fact. And that's not bragging. It's just good business for them to know what's being said about their properties and who's in them. So it remains to be seen what'll happen. But people, show the properties respect. Show your favorite vloggers some love and support. That way they can continue to do their thing. I'm about to head into the downtown. Well, I am in the downtown area. I got a little business to conduct. And you can see the traffic, you can see the bumps, you can see the construction that's taking place down here. It's a little bit crazy, but I got about a mile to go. So I'm going to tell you at this point, I'm going to drop the 9% word of the day right up here. Bam. Put that again in the comments. That'll let me know that you stuck around to the very end, that you're enjoying my content, and it'll help me grow because 9% of all viewers of every video stick around to the end, and I would like for you to join them. I would also like for you to subscribe, like, share, and hit the bell button and get notified when I go live, which is 3 or 4 times every week, guaranteed Tuesday, guaranteed Thursday, possibly Saturday, and I generally throw in another day. If you'd like to support my channel, you can do so by checking me out on Patreon, any of the links in the description below, or getting a channel membership starting at as little as $3. And that would help me tremendously. But a like, a share, and a subscribe is tremendous support too. And I thank you for your time. And on that note, Bror Fredrik out.